6:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, October 12th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So it's so nice to talk to some of you before the live. I really appreciate everybody who tunes in. Let me go through this real quick. JW, Matt, Darren, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you all tuning in prior to the stream. Let me see the other comments real quickly here, and then I'm going to get into this because we've got a lot to cover. It's going to be slightly different than everybody's used to. We're going to do the charts as always, but there's going to be some improvements here tonight. Crypto Solo Scrooge, thank you for tuning in. Darren Plum, Zachary, Codizer, welcome. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's going great. It's going great, everybody. Thanks for asking. Make sure you go watch Crypto Solo Scrooge if you're interested in solo. XRP, the XRP Ledger, Corium, anything around that same, anything on the same frame. Radio Ear, welcome in. Justin, good evening. Tanya, welcome in. Love, my birthday sister. I greatly appreciate you tuning in as always. So tonight, the reason why this is going to be a little bit different, and how if you're a fan of Doge, since we covered it in the midday market report before we get going, it would behoove me not to at least just show you this. So that's what we're looking at with Doge right now while I go through this. Mark, welcome in. Oh, Johnson, good evening. Hello, Jorge, good evening. I'm so glad to see all my friends here tonight. CJ2 Pilot, thank you for tuning in. You have no idea how much motivation it gives me to see all of you tuning in. No idea. So this is Doge. Just pay attention to this technical breakdown. If it continues moving down, you're going to end up down. And it looks like a gigantic bear flag. It just had a couple overextensions, and this is how it was figured out. So just, if you're a fan of Doge, nothing more, nothing less. I shared that with somebody who asked in the midday market report, so I figured I would share it with anybody who's interested. Tarana, welcome in. I see some names here I haven't seen in a while. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I love it. Jose, good evening. Herbert, welcome in. Casper, yes, Devin, we can talk about Casper. But I want to go through, and I'll explain it while we jump around. But we're going to go through the XRP technical analysis. Then I want to show everybody something that is from 2018. And I'm going to show you what Ripple put out about the Internet of Value. And then out of Ripple's this is their own video, their own words, what their vision for Ripple and XRP was going back to 2018. Also, I want to show you some of the stuff from with Amazon, what they put out about Ripple, but it's part of the profile. And it shows you a lot of the adopters through the banks and a lot of different parts of, it's harder to explain it than to just share it. So we're going to go into that very quickly. Casper, we're looking to break even lower, probably to this 293 area, or right around the 3 cents. We're still very much in a falling channel, or falling, it's kind of like a bear flag, but it's more of a falling channel. We're falling wedge. We're more of in a falling wedge. So in time, we should be able to get down to about that. It's almost at that 294 or whatever, but we need to see how it reacts there. But I really need to get into XRP because I got a lot to talk about here this evening. Tanya, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. I know you're a month 1 subscriber because you've got the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, and that's the month 1 subscriber badge. That's literally me being abducted by aliens. My face is superimposed on there, no joke. Someone made that for me. A girl I met on social media. She does like crocheting and stuff like that, and she made it for me. It's awesome. It's awesome. No problem, Devin. And thank you, Tanya, so much, love. Marshall says he's looking for the no bullshit analysis. That's what we like to hear. So XRP very quickly, and we'll go back and forth. But I want to just very quickly, we're still breaking down here. We got rejected at the 524 pivot level. I suppose it would be in our best interest for me to show you it like this. The short-term pattern formation, we're still in what looks like could be a bull flag in disguise of a bear flag until it breaks down this wall at 435, 43 cents. This is still technically could be a bull flag in disguise. I'm not trying to like mince words, but this very well could be a setup within here. So we want to see this break first before we ultimately can use the next level. Hey, JW, appreciate you. Yes, love around the world indeed. Did someone say XRP? We sure did, XR Perfection. We sure did. You know, it's our time right now. We must be positive. We must be loving, especially with the stuff that's going on around the world. It's in our best interest to stay united. 49 people already here tonight for this live. I greatly appreciate that. 34 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button. as it will help push this content. We'll help be able to have more people in this community. So what we're looking for is first layer. Can we at least hold this 40, actually it's about 43 cents, but are we gonna come all the way down there? That's the question of all questions. Right now we look to have a retest coming up. It's not a surprise, we should retest this area around 50 cents. It could possibly be as low as 49 cents, but I really feel like you would retest that structure. And I'm telling you, this could be a very jank. I know it's a bear flag setup, but it very well could be telling us if this doesn't cease to exist that it could reverse up. However, let me just stop us all right there. Let's take a look at what XLM's done now. Is XLM just ahead of XRP? Because it looks like it had that exact same setup, and XLM broke through the formation, got a rejection here, and now its technical target's looking to reconfirm this uptrend on this pattern formation all the way down at around 8 cents. So is this actually what's going to take place? Is there going to be some kind of stronghold that takes hold here? Are we on our way down right now? Is this just a bearish moment? And is XRP just a little bit behind XLM right now? Because if you look at it, it looks like a very similar setup without that last drop. So first area right now, you really need to get back above 492. And ultimately, I'll be honest with everybody, as long as XRP is below this 524 pivot level, it's very bearish. That is such an important pivot level, it's so hard to even explain it. If you break that, basically the 4.3 level, then underneath that you've got the 4.15, 4.16, and once you break that, there's nothing really left, and you can't look at 20 cents, but we can now go back to the other pattern. If it satisfies both of these supports and we break through, then you're staring directly in the face of the 2020 uptrend at 358. That's approximately where it would be, and this can technically play out until December of 24, no problem. It's just we have to acknowledge what's happening here. This looks like it went straight up, so there was really no left arm form. Maybe down here came up. We're forming a right shoulder here. Now, if it comes down to the consolidation phase, as I've said before, I think the best spot to start buying, or if you bought and you're accumulating from here, the 2020 uptrend, because it was able to not only start the uptrend prior to the breakout in 21, it actually sustained it after the breakdown. Outside of the quantitative easing, and outside of the government printing money and all this stuff that made it parabolic for crypto, we were on the uptrend. Huge, formed the second layer of resistance. Now we formed this third layer. But now when we came back down, we confirmed this uptrend that started over a year in advance of the bull market. So now it allows us to at least see the 2020 uptrend as a major support, bounce off it, hit it again, tried to bounce. Now can we hold, or do we start breaking levels? That is what the question is. Right now, you have no reason to believe it's going to break that level until it does. We've showed massive support over multiple years and massive, massive sell pressure that couldn't break it. So that's what we're looking at. That's where I targeted the buyback in, and exactly what I did. So that's what we're looking at, and I think that is where you're trying to get to make your first buy. Somewhere close to there. If you haven't, just stay with the philosophy of 20% down. 20% down. Which means if you buy $10,000 worth, you're going to have $2,000 every 20% down in your back pocket. So if you don't have that, maybe you just buy $5,000 worth and you start playing it from there. Hamza, I'm glad you made it so awesome. So awesome. And yes, Crypto Scrooge, it definitely looks very similar between XRP and XLM. Tanya, welcome in, love. I'm so glad you're tuning in. 59 people here now. And you're just the icing on the cake now because you made this whole thing just that much more special, Tanya. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Always has kind things to say to me, too. Always. Gives me that extra motivation, which is very encouraging. So, now that we're here, for anybody who just arrived, you're going to get a treat here. John, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here, my friend. I really am so glad to see everybody. I realized something. I've got to be extra positive when I'm in here. That's why I've taken a turn the last couple of days back towards extra positivity and Happyville, because there's a lot of stuff to be negative about, but there's even more things to be positive about if we can take advantage of this cycle. So this is from Amazon. So let me go through this, because I think this list of not just use cases, but also the members is important. But then I want to show you what was said in 2018 about what the purpose of Ripple and XRP was out of Ripple's mouth, but also the internet of value. And this goes back 5 years. I've shown this before, but everybody needs to understand we're at the time of the Great Awakening. Some people are going to be, we're going to be looking at it from a perspective of XRP is done. XRP can never get over $1. Some people are going to have you believe that XRP is just here to take all your money, that it can never go anywhere with 100 billion circulating supply. And I would tell you, it's imperative for XRP to have 100 billion circulating supply total. The reason for that is you need enough liquidity if you go from banks around the world, and if you start looking at the liquidity that's going to be needed just by the banks that are part of the bank list, or at least 100 financial institutions. These are just a few of them. So just think, you're going to need enough liquidity for 100 different financial institutions. There's more than 100 right now. You're just going to need a whole bunch of liquidity. So you can't have 500 million XRP to push it around. So if we start thinking it from a positive perspective, not just, oh my goodness, they released 1 billion XRP into circulate. Maybe it's because it needs to be put away so they can be given to the institutions at a later time. Do you ever think when they lock it back into escrow, it's got ulterior motives and they can sell it kind of a different way? That's the positive way to look at it. So if you don't know what RippleNet is a decentralized global network of banks and payment providers using Ripple's distributed financial technology, which provides real-time messaging, clearing and settlement of financial transactions. Ripple connects banks, payments providers, digital asset exchanges, and corporate via RippleNet to provide one frictionless experience to send money globally. Key Ripple products that enable RippleNet members include, and we'll go through this when we get down a little bit farther, because I have the members list right here. We can go through it. But I will say, I took some time to examine, and I really feel like I'm in a better place, and I feel like this community is in a way better place. I really appreciate each and every one of you here, and I also appreciate the ones who have unsubscribed, because at least it allows the ones who don't understand, who don't appreciate Ripple, maybe they were just in it for a quick run-up, which is likely what's happened here. It's good that those people might be out of the flow, because maybe they won't buy into something they don't believe in now, so maybe this isn't the best thing. So I'm so appreciative. So Xcurrent, process real-time payments. Ripple software Xcurrent enables banks to differentiate themselves by offering new cross-border payments services while lowering their total cost of settlement. The solution is specifically designed to meet the needs of banks by fitting within their existing risk, compliance, and information security frameworks. Ripple software is installed within the bank's infrastructure, and it's built to interface with the bank system using an API interface or through a translation layer that can consume traditional payment message formats to compress the integration time frame into weeks. Just wanted anybody to know this because I get a lot of questions. This is very, very, very important. I agree. I completely agree with that, John. I mean, that is so on the money. At least in my opinion. So then we've got XRapid for the source on-demand liquidity. XRapid lets payment providers and other financial institutions minimize liquidity costs while improving their customer experience because payments into emerging markets often require pre-funded local currency accounts. Around the world, liquidity costs are high. XRapid helps to lower the capital requirements for liquidity. XRapid uniquely uses a digital asset, XRP, to offer on-demand liquidity, which lowers costs while enabling real-time payments in emerging markets. So even if you listen to the speculation that XRP is nothing more than a gas token or it's for gas fees, fine. That's perfect. I'm okay with that. Being a gas token, when it goes into full effect, you can expect a 5 digits, or not 5. You would expect, right now we're not even at $1. You would expect at least $10 in that scenario, maybe up to $25 if it's just being used as a gas fee. You could get it up to $10 to $25. That's the thing. Even if it is a gas fee, there's nominal gains to be made once this all gets integrated. There really is. And then XVIA send global payments with a single integration. XVIA is for corporations, payment providers, and banks that want to send payments across various networks using a standard interface. Now notice, what is Ripple building into its system? It's all for banks and institutions. There's multiple layers that are built into this. A lot of people get caught up on just XRP as a trading token. It's a lot more than that. XVIA's simple API requires no software installation and enables users to send payments globally with transparency into the payment status and with rich information like invoices attached. We've been here 14 minutes and 49 seconds already. How is that possible? Holy. Thank you to the 62 people who are watching this. 54 likes. I greatly appreciate that. If you want to join with the cannabis, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to relax while we read through this because we got a couple videos to watch going back to 2018 to better demonstrate what's going on here. RippleNet use cases. So by joining RippleNet, banks, payment providers, exchanges, and corporates can address many commercial use cases, including e-invoicing, international supply chain payments, global currency accounts, real-time cash pooling, international bill pay, real-time remittances, and international peer-to-peer payments. Just think about this. And now you got the RippleNet members. There's 100 financial institutions plus. So if you go into this, there's over 100 institutions. And I don't really want to read all of this right now. But we can get into this at a later time and read through this. But this is from 2017. That was back then. This is the point. This is years ago. Imagine the upgraded list now. We've got Santander, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Kotak. We got ITEL, and this is out of India, Canada, USA. Santander's in USA, and this has been going back years. So that's why I think that this lawsuit is nothing but a facade. You got the ITEL in Brazil, Inducin in India, Instagram, Singapore, BTEC, Brazil, Zipremit, Canada, Lian, China, Rock Bank, UAE, the United Arab Emirates, the IFX in the United Kingdom, as well as the Transfer Go, Currency Direct, Air Wallets in Australia, SCB in Sweden, SBI Remit in Japan, Slam Commercial Bank in Thailand. And this isn't even going into the new. This has nothing to do with the new. I mean, the amount of partners that are available now as public record, the price is doing exactly what it's meant to do. The market's doing exactly what it's meant to do. The only thing that's not doing what it's meant to do in the eyes of public perception is the XRP price action. Public perception as you believe that we should be at, what was it, $589 by the end of 2023 because of what The Simpsons said. And I've always said 0.589 is what they were trying to tell us. It was there right in front of us. It is. This is in front of us right now. We are at the epicenter of this. If we understand, and I'm going to make you understand, anybody who's actually watching, and I know a lot of people will leave and that's okay, but this is a different kind of live. So as I get into this right now, anybody who's sticking around, watch this. This is from 2018, Internet of Value, and then part 3 is literally Ripple's vision for XRP from 2018, so there's no reason to speculate. There really isn't. We can listen to it right from them. I went through and did the research today before I came on because I wanted certain things set up so that I could demonstrate it in a certain way. We know what's happening on the charts. But let's find out what is actually going on and what's being implemented and what the plan was. And are we sticking to the plan?
Chris, how would you describe what the Internet of Value is and what the sort of insight is to get us there?
Yeah, so a lot of it came from kind of the early work you guys.
And if anybody doesn't know, that's David Schwartz. So I'm sure you all know who he is, CFO. Well,
did with
we don't know what his title is on a day-to-day basis, but he's up there. He's one of the big guys.
pathfinding and again having this, anything of value can be traded. That kind of was the germ of it. But kind of stepping way back, if you look at the real problem in the world today, a lot of people point to globalization as being.
Just out of curiosity, everybody. Does this bring you any value today? Because this is the epicenter. I know a lot of people realize this is how we're going to end it today through these, but hopefully this found some of you well.
Not working for people, and we would say, no, it's not that it's not working. It's just that it's a work in progress, right? It's incomplete. So you could have a real globalization needs interoperability in 3 core things, right? Data, goods, shipping, and money. And the problem is it only has interoperability in data, obviously the internet, and shipping since the 50s with the shipping container, which creates interoperability between port to other port, ship to train to truck. But you don't have that with money. Money networks don't interoperate. And if you have that, now billions of people are onboarded into a real working, kind of system of globalization. And that's upon us. I think that's really what we're trying to build here.
So do we understand what Chris Larson was saying? Pretty sure between Chris Larson and David Schwartz, you guys understand what was happening there. So I'm going to continue this. And I appreciate Mark 100% value. I appreciate that. Herbert TTS, thank you. Hamza, I appreciate that. JW's Crypto Scoot. See, a lot of you that are here now, you understand the value of this time because this is where we can learn. We can see exactly what they told us 5 years ago, and we can see how they adapted it and see how they stuck to. That's how you can tell if going forward we're going to be exactly what we're supposed to be. They haven't really come off of what they've said at all. In fact, they keep pushing the narrative of what they want. And they keep expanding the horizon. Like, they continue to advance what we already have. Do you know how much more advanced we are from 5 years ago? And how much farther we've come in Ripple?
And I think the need is very evident now because you have companies that have very, very light infrastructure or none in the areas they serve.
You know, if you talk to folks at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation who do a ton of work in the financial infrastructure, you know, of the world, you know, the big thing that they're trying to accomplish is to allow people to send as little as 50 cents, you know, somebody in the developing world,
they said,
if they're really going to be a
Julie,
participant in the global economy. And that's just impossible today, right? I mean, even it's really even impossible to send $50 from the US to Europe without it being all chewed up in fees. 50 cents is just not on the table. But in a world now, this kind of internet of value, combining things like ILP and XRP, that is absolutely possible. That is, you know, so frictionless and so fast, it completely changes the economics. And then beyond, you know, those billions of people that need to send 50 cents, think about the trillions of devices and code that needs to be able to send, you know, 10,000.
Is he speaking to us 5 years later? He said 50 cents. Aren't we right about there right now?
Of the cent. That is also enabled through what's going on here. So pretty exciting.
I think the vision is to be able to make an international payment as cheap and easy as pulling up a web.
It does the first time you press the heart emoji, but unlike TikTok, it doesn't matter. You can hit it a million times. It only counts as one reaction. But TikTok, you can't say a word on TikTok. Everybody thinks TikTok's the place for like freedom and the freedom of expression. Every time I even speak a little truth about XRP, my videos get banned. So there's nothing like, I've been banned so many times on TikTok, your heads would explode for the content I put on YouTube. So just imagine what you can't say on TikTok. That's used as a hub so that you guys, it's like I always say, you're awake or you're woke. The ones on TikTok are usually woke. There's a big difference. You want to be awake. Some of them are awake. There's a lot of awake people on TikTok, but a lot of the narrative is for woke people, not awake. Not for the ones who are awake, the ones who are awoken basically. You don't want to be woke. You want to be awake. So anyhow, thank you so much for that $2 donation. I don't even know who that was. First donation of the night, of the day. No, it's not. Tanya joined Tom's Army. So Tanya joined Tom's Army while we've been live, and then Mark sent $2. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My bag of X is already ready. Is algo worth buying or should I wait to dip more? Are the SEC will go after algo when that... Okay, that's an excellent question. Oh my God, that is an excellent question. So algo, this is why I don't believe Ripple's going to settle with the SEC. Otherwise, all the other ISO tokens, and it won't just be algo. There's a lot on the XRP ledger that are going to be affected. You better believe that Sologenic and Corium will likely have issues going forward if there's some kind of settlement where they pay a fine. Everything will. So they're not going that route, I don't believe. So algo, that's an excellent question, and we're going to go back to that in 2 seconds. But algo, as you know, we've been buying as a community. Maybe you don't. We have almost 6,800 now. I've been trying to dedicate it to FOMO Fridays, but I did not buy the last 2 weeks for one simple reason. We tried to trot a little bit too high. I don't like to buy it over 10 cents. So I wait for it to come back under. I'm trying to get to 10,000 tokens, and I'd like to buy it when it's under the downtrending resistance on the falling channel. However, we are on the top side right now. We've come back well under the 10 cent mark now. So now you see why we didn't buy the last 2 weeks. So now this week on Friday, we'll be buying our $50 in algo. It's just, that's how it's going to be this week. And then if you're tuning in, we'll most likely buy Sologenic tomorrow as well, because we're working on a bag of that. and Corium, but I don't know if we're going to buy both tomorrow. So just pay attention to all of this. But algo, not a bad time to start buying. We're looking, because if it breaks out of this channel, it's going to come up at some point to around 20 cents. But if it continues moving down, we could come as low as 2 cents here. So I'm looking for the retracement continuing down to about that 666, ironically. So algo, that's an excellent question. It would get caught in the crossfire if there's a settlement in the XRP Ripple versus the SEC. If. But if Brad Garlinghouse does what he says and sticks to his guns like I think he will, and that's why he assigned, if we go through the record, he assigned as somebody, a part of his one of his attorneys now, was the former assistant district attorney from the Southern District of New York. So when you put it together, he's going to fight this. And more than likely, he's looking for the trial angle since he's got the assistant district attorney, the former assistant district attorney from the Southern District of New York on his side now as one of his attorneys. You have to look at that for what it's for. That didn't come before they announced the April 24, did it? So I think we've got a big jury trial coming to head, like I've said from the beginning. That doesn't have anything to do with XRP, though. This has to do with the validity of how the SEC tries to go after individuals and entities. And I think they're going to shove it right up there, you know what.
A web page, like something that you would do without even thinking about the mechanics or the costs or who has to do what. It's just so automatic and so cheap and so scalable, and there's so many of them happening that it's almost invisible. You don't even think about doing it.
Yeah, almost like the value is moving with the data, just right on top of each other.
And one more time, thank you all. I know it's hard, I know it's stressful, I know it's rough sometimes with all the work we have to do outside of this, and with all the negativity and the distractions, and just everybody who wants to bash on us for liking XRP. There's one person you can trust that loves XRP, it's me. And I actually put in the work each and every day, just like each and every one of you. So at least you know I'll be here, because I actually believe in the utility of XRP going into 2028. I firmly believe it. And it's like I said, I would rather have XRP than not, because I don't feel right without it. So in the accumulation phase, I'm so happy to be back within it. Oh no, Sully, no, Sully. You're never late. You are never late. Is Uphold good to buy XRP? Okay. Here's the deal, everybody. And I'm going to try to save you money that initially I never saved myself because I didn't understand. So if you're in the USA, just look in the video description below. If you're in the USA, you know what? It is a good place to buy XRP. There's nothing wrong with it, but you're going to get hit with enormous fees when you buy. And if you buy 10,000 tokens, I can probably save you if you use a different platform and pay the lower spot fees and then just send it through the ledger. Just go to the ledger. You just send it from XRP. They consider it on the ledger. You're transferring XRP. You're going to send it from, in this case, if you're in the USA, let me put it down there just so everybody can see. And it's actually important. I was supposed to talk about FEMX before, because anybody who's using it, if you're a futures trader, and I'm hesitant to talk about it, there's a lot of incentives going on starting today, and it's, yeah, it is what it is. But you can save a hell of a lot. Here, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get everything set up, but I'll continue to answer that question.
And that is a world that we can have, but not with the infrastructure you have today. You've got kind of an internet world, kind of working with a pre-internet world of money, and those things are not lining up. So this is a big bottleneck for the world. If we can push through this, that's it. Again, blockchains are not the only answer. A subset of the solution, but the broader solution combines this kind of value interoperability protocols with a super fast and efficient digital asset, and then with some kind of mechanism for programming how that value moves around.
Okay, this was the first one, and the other one I already have it up, but it's right there as well. But I do have it up already, so it'll be easier just to... And then I'll show you this at the end. Can I please remove that guy? I never buy or sell it on Uphold. I only hold it on Uphold, or I'll hold it on Zoom if I'm not using it. So read between the lines. But I never sell it on Uphold. I just feel safer with it on the platform. than other platforms. If you sell it on Uphold, you're going to cost yourself a fee. If you buy it on Uphold, you're going to cost yourself a fee. There's just really no reason to do it. And then you can always send back to the exchange. I mean, if you want to sell it on the exchange, so be it, because obviously you'll have to sell it through another currency. But buying it, I never do. Ever. Ever. I won't sell it on Uphold because I'll sell it through FEMX or MEXC and then send it to, I'll send it to Kraken because I'm in the USA after. And then I'll send it to my bank like that if I have to send it to a bank. But right now I'm not interested in doing that anymore. So there's no reason for me to do that, honestly. So let's watch this video and I'll get into it at the very end of this.
The Internet of Value is about rewiring the global financial infrastructure to dramatically improve the cost, speed, and certainty of how transactions flow. It's amazing to me how many people really don't realize how much friction there is in payments. We've become habituated to just expecting this is how it works. And I think like so many other industries that have been disrupted by reducing friction, increasing speed, I think we're going to see a dramatic change over the next 10 or even 15 years that are really hard to predict today, that are the foundation that will be laid upon that Internet of Value. XRP is part of the heartbeat of Ripple. It is the foundation of how we think about liquidity management, and a core problem that how the financial infrastructure works is around how liquidity is managed. Today, financial institutions are wired with pools of capital. They're called Nostro and Vostro accounts. And these are accounts that are pre-funded between financial institutions. And that's capital sitting dormant and not being used for either working capital or lending or what have you. By using a digital asset, you can enable liquidity in real time. This is transformational to how global financial infrastructure is wired. Every marathon starts with a single step. For us, the first step is getting financial institutions engaged and working with us, getting them to understand.
Remember, guys, this is 2018. How far have they come on these words now? Literally, they've actually done what he spoke about now. They're on board, big time.
The core technology with X-Current works, introducing how we can help manage liquidity. There's a lot of friction and cost associated with banks and financial institutions working with other institutions. We can change and accelerate how that works really materially, dramatically. And I think introducing XRP into those flows will take time. But as I said, every marathon starts with a single step. When I zoom out and look at where Ripple sits in the blockchain and crypto ecosystem, we are incredibly fortunate to be the only company with real customers solving real problems. That is at the early stages of that marathon, but there's no doubt that as we look at the race that has started, we're the only ones that have crossed that starting line.
So, I mean, just consider all of that. And to answer that question before I leave, I put FEMX in the chat. I use FEMX in the USA. I also like to use MEXC, but I'm already a user. They don't allow new users in the USA. FEMX, it's the lowest spot maker fee. It's a 0.5%. Uphold, you're going to pay somewhere between 3 and 5% when you buy. It's just, especially in high times, it gets expensive. So you're going to save a lot of money. So I'll buy on FEMX or MEXC, doesn't matter, and then I'll just send it to Uphold. I'm not buying on Uphold no more unless I have to. I do the FOMO Fridays and the Winning Wednesdays. I only buy on there because that's stuff that's more available on Uphold. But XRP is so easily transferable from these other exchanges that I'm not going to lead you astray. We're going to save some money when we can save some money. You know, I probably cost myself, by not knowing how to do this in 2021, $800 to $1,000 on my sell between the buys and sells. And you know, I turned 3,500 into like 15,000. So do the math. And if I would have did it on like MEXC, BitGet, well, actually BitGet probably wasn't even really, it was around, but not really like this, you know. So yes, I remember the blah, blah, blah. So that's everything, guys and gals. But I got to go. I got to make sure Julie's okay. I got all the kids that are getting ready for their showers and stuff because I got school in the morning, then the week. And then, yeah, so I appreciate each and every one of you. If you appreciate my work, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Believe it or not, we rapidly lost subscribers. Yesterday was my worst, and I love it. This is a motivation, and there's never been more motivation. I lost 26 subscribers in one day yesterday, and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. I've had days like that, but I noticed the difference in the ones who might have been trying to make a quick dollar, and then the ones you want to actually see it through. And I think it's best that those people did, in fact, unsubscribe yesterday, because they're obviously in it for the quick money, and they're going to lose a lot of money because they're not going to know when to hold and yada, yada, yada. So it's a blessing in disguise. But today, now, all of a sudden, when I woke up, I was at 18,501. So we're back in the corrective phase because we're at 18,507 now. So we'll see what happened. But I like it. See, I know it might take a lot of people by surprise, but I like when some people fall off, because I know there's some that are falling just because we were in that little bullish cycle that we weren't supposed to be in. So, you know, I think Tanya woke me up yesterday, if I'm being honest. Yes, Tanya, yes. And she woke me up yesterday, too, to the things that I was imagining, but the reality of the situation, it's not just what I'm thinking. This is the reality. You know, not everybody is, it's more of an indictment on somebody else more than our community. But at the same time, I do want to be here, so when, you know, things go back into the positive momentum, you know, I want everybody to know I'll still be here. So good, bad, or indifferent, and you've watched it come up. I've done some crazy things along the way. But I still think we have a lot more to do. We're not even close to 2028. And I want us all to come up together. That's the bottom line. XRP is down 1.1% as we lead into the daily close. Basically, all we're looking for today, there's not much. There's not much. We're below that pivot point at 524. The only thing we can say is, can we get back above before the daily close? And I'm thinking not. I don't think we're getting back above 494 today. So anything short of that, we're being tops out of 49 cents. We're still overly bearish in this formation, but it's a beautiful accumulation phase, because no matter where you bought in, you know your targets. And if you haven't bought in yet, that is the question to ask yourself. And as I've stated from the start of this, you want to be as close to that 2020 uptrend as possible. I love each and every one of you. Thank you all so much. You've blessed me beyond words.